I was so excited to see what she was going to come out with, not exactly sure what to expect. Then suddenly, I felt something really rigid against the back of my skull. Don't fucking do anything stupid because I'm not afraid to pull the trigger. Something truly terrible happened in June of 2021. Since my divorce, I've been single for quite some time, and loneliness was starting to eat away at me. We've been together for over 7 years, and now we've been apart for a little over 2 years. I wanted to try and start finding someone else to go on dates with. I've been out of the dating game for so long that I didn't even know what to do or how to go about it. So I started creating a profile on Facebook Dating. My lack of experience must have shown because I probably liked over 100 profiles and got 0 responses back. My confidence started to drop, and after a week of this, I was just about to give up. It was so depressing looking over at the other side of the bed, knowing that there was an empty space there, and it felt like it was just going to remain empty. I was lying in bed, scrolling through YouTube, about to find something boring to fall asleep to, until my phone buzzed, and someone actually matched with me. When I took a look at her picture, I was not expecting a woman of this caliber to actually want to match with me. Her name was Nora, and she was cute with brown hair, green eyes, and tattoos all over. Also, she was into all the same things that I was into. Plus, it didn't look like all of her pictures were shots of her forehead or one of those like really deceiving filters that everybody keeps using. There's no way in hell that someone like that actually wants to be with me. But as I was nervously trying to figure out what the hell to message her, she sent me a message saying, "Howdy hot stuff." I was actually glad that she messaged me first because my conversation starters were definitely not existent. We started messaging small things at first, but I told her that I was nervous, explained the situation a little bit, and she really seemed to understand. A lot of that nervousness went away over the next couple of days. We joked, talked about the future, shared all this good and bad stuff that has happened to us in the past. Damn, how could she be so perfect? Her past was very similar to mine also. A bit of a rough childhood, went through a divorce herself, and she seemed like a rather hard worker and very much the creative type. Soon after, we exchanged numbers and started having long conversations on the phone. We also exchanged pictures. She seemed incredibly real and sincere. Having somebody check this many boxes made the days feel as if I was floating through them. After a week and a half of texting and a few incredibly long, heartfelt conversations, we decided to take it a bit further and go on an actual date. The cool thing was, she wasn't one of those wine and dine fancy girls who expected a dinner date and a movie. We decided on doing a small dinner at her place. I was equally excited and nervous about this occasion. She sent me her address, and it was a bit of a drive out of town through some country roads. I eventually got to her place, which was a small trailer in the middle of the woods. The outside looked a little dumpy, and you could tell it wasn't kept up, but I also mean she did go through a divorce and had to figure it out herself, so I wasn't going to judge her on her place. I was just thankful to be here and have her company. As I walked up, I was begging the dating app gods to please not let me be catfished. Before I could knock on the door, it swung open fast, and there she was, staring at me with those beautiful green eyes, looking just as adorable as she does in those pictures. I'm gonna be a little honest, she did look tired, but this was still a breath of fresh air. She also seemed nervous as she invited me in, grabbing my hand and tugging me along. I'm glad she did this because I was probably too nervous to even try to hold her hand. As I looked around, the place was kind of a mess. There was shit everywhere. I was typically a clean freak, but I wasn't going to let this bother me. I didn't feel like it was my place to be picky at this point. We both sat down on her couch in the living room. She told me how cute I looked in person, which honestly made me blush a little bit. She then grabbed the TV remote and turned on Netflix. Then she handed me the remote and said, "I'll be right back. I'm going to change into something a little bit better." She told me just to pick something that I liked. Nora then ran back into her bedroom, and she must have turned on the radio because I heard music in the background. I was so excited to see what she was going to come out with, not exactly sure what to expect. A few minutes later, I heard the door open and the music was blaring down the hallway. Then suddenly, I felt something really rigid against the back of my skull. I heard a male voice that said, "Don't fucking do anything stupid because I'm not afraid to pull the trigger." My immediate reaction was to panic. I didn't know what to say except, "Please, please don't hurt me. Please God, don't hurt me. I told them, take my money, just do whatever you want, just don't kill me, please. He shot back more intensely, shut the fuck up and get down on the floor now, he barked. I dropped to my knees, my face pressed against the dirty linoleum floor, and sweat was pouring from my body. I begged and pleaded with him, saying, I didn't do anything wrong. Please don't hurt me. I didn't mean to be here. Please, just take my money. I could see the robber was wearing a dark face mask that covered almost his entire face except the eye holes. He had on a dark hoodie with matching sweatpants and work boots. He then shouted, shut the fuck up and don't look at me. And if you do as you're told, you won't be eating a lead sandwich as your last meal. He then reached out and emptied my pockets, taking the little bit of cash that I had in there. I could hear Nora's voice as she ran up the hallway. Damn, you got him, babe. Did you get all the money? He shot back, no, this punk only had 35 bucks in his wallet, but he's got a bunch of cards. I knew at that moment that I've been played. She never gave a fuck about me. She just wanted me here so they could just rob me. What the fuck have I got myself into? My body trembled uncontrollably throughout this entire experience. The guy in the ski mask grabbed my phone and smashed it on the ground, then tossed it into a grocery bag. He then told me to get the fuck up and we're going for a ride. Nora looked at me and said, don't do anything stupid, okay? I don't want you to get hurt. Just do whatever we say and you'll get out of here with your life. They pushed me out of the back door and into the passenger side of their vehicle. The guy with the gun got in right behind me and must have laid on the floor because I couldn't see him in the rearview mirror. Nora hopped into the driver's seat, telling me, we need you to calm down so this works out smoothly, okay? We're going to hit as many ATMs as we can and cash out. Then we're going to drop you off. As we were driving down the road, Nora took the garbage bag with my phone in it and threw it out the window into a ditch somewhere. I could hear the man barking at me in a very harsh tone. Don't try anything stupid. We've gotten rid of punks just like you. So calm the f down, get your shit together, and get ready to swipe those cards. You got it? Yes. I asked you a question. Do you got it or not? I replied with, yes, sir. He shot back, then cool. Be real cool. Starting 3, 2, 1. Now. Nora handed me a dirty napkin that was in the center console and told me to blow my nose and get my face looking like I was just on a normal drive with my friends. We started hitting up one ATM after another, draining out the maximum that I could. People drove by just oblivious to everything that was going on. The last thing I wanted was for them to get spooked and me get shot. I did as I was told and I withdrew thousands of dollars, spending every cent in my bank account, maxing out all my credit cards. I was still unsure if they were just going to shoot me after this or not, but what choice did I have? After getting everything they wanted, they said, we're going to go for a little drive. I asked, are you going to kill me? Please, don't kill me. I gave you everything you wanted. The guy in back said, if you don't shut the fuck up, I'm going to. Nora grabbed my hand and assured me that I would be fine, but right now, I needed to keep my head down and just do as I was told. I had no idea where I was. It was dark and the car finally stopped. It looked like we're in the middle of fucking nowhere. The guy in the mask who was sitting behind me got out of the car, opened up the passenger door, grabbed me by the back of the shirt and threw me on the ground. Laughing, he said, you did real good. You could tell he was smiling through the mask while he was laughing. As he got into the car, he told me to stay the f down until they were gone. As they sped away, kicking up gravel, he yelled out the window, thanks for the paycheck. I was now stuck in the middle of fucking nowhere. I was so hurt and just wanted to break down and cry because nothing like this has ever happened to me before. I had no phone, no wallet, no idea where the hell I was. So I started walking aimlessly down the road, just hoping that somebody would drive by. I had literally no idea how long I was out there, but it felt like forever. Then finally somebody pulled up after they saw me waving them down. It was an older guy driving an old pickup truck. He could see in my eyes that something really bad had just happened and urged me to get in the car. I was so thankful because I didn't know what was going to happen next. As I told him the story, you could just see the concern on his face. He said, hey buddy, do you need to go to the hospital at all? I told him, no, I'm fine physically. I'm just really mentally drained right now. After everything was said and done, I didn't end up getting any of my money back. I never once decided to meet anyone new online ever again. They eventually caught up to the suspects, and having to see them in the trial to testify just opened up all that pain again that I went through before. Seeing all those other people they had done this to was nerve-wracking and, to be honest, heartbreaking. During all of this, I had to move back in with my parents because I couldn't pay my rent, and this left a permanent scar that I don't think I'll ever fully get over. Even with them caught and sitting in prison, the damage had already been done. I found out later the place that I went to wasn't even hers. It was just some place they were squatting at because whoever owned the property was only there when they were hunting. So they had the perfect place to get away with all of this. I'm not sure what else to say except don't walk into a situation you're not sure of. And life is very precious because you never know when something like this is going to happen and when your time is up. This story was inspired by several true events that still happen to this day. Thank you guys for listening.
Join us by liking, sharing, and subscribing. You don't want to miss what's coming next.